phenomenal. And then a quarter and a half, they had a bad quarter and a half. And you getting rid of all the defensive, minds behind the great success the defense had, that makes sense. From Andre Elam, he says, if it wasn't for Brian Cox, Hegeman was on the way to being a huge bust. And a lot of people nationally, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, can remember Rashid Hegeman on Hard Knocks, where they kind of previewed the relationship a couple years ago, where they kind of previewed the relationship between him and Brian Cox. And, for people not in Atlanta, it's that Brian Cox. And you didn't watch Hard Knocks. It's that Brian Cox. Brian Cox that played for the Miami Dolphins, the Chicago Bears at linebacker. He may have even played for somebody else. All-pro type player. That Brian Cox was the defensive line coach for the Falcons, I think it said, since 2014. And he used to get in Rashid Hegeman's ass. And Rashid Hegeman, to be honest, was kind of, for where the Falcons drafted him, I can't remember, was he a first-round pick? I can't remember exactly. But they drafted him out of Minnesota, and big-time talent, but an underachiever. Brian Cox used to put foot in his ass daily. Yeah. And so it's just alarming. You got real production out of him this year, more notably in the playoffs. It just doesn't make sense. From Jam still hurting. Damn, Jam. Jam still hurting. Doug, word on the street is that Dan Quinn took over when the defense got better. Okay, maybe that's what I need to know. I need to know that little inside information, to change my thoughts about, everything that's happened over the last couple of days. If that's the case, and maybe when we get, once again, D. Orlando Ledbetter on later on today, he can kind of clarify some of these things once again. Because it just doesn't make sense. As simple as that. From Leonard, Pittsburgh Finest, we are real Falcons heavy today. Y'all need to let this shit go. Leonard, Pittsburgh's Finest. Hey, we're not going to let it go. I mean, this is kind of like some of the top news stories in sports. We're not going to let it go all the way. I mean, we are moving away from the actual game and what happened. This is more the proliferary stories out there. But I want to say to you, thank you for your profile pic. Love Mammary Glands. Thank you. Must be cold in that room. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. From Sidney Jackson, what the Falcons are doing is similar to when the Oilers blew that 35-point lead against that Bill back in the day. The Bills, I guess he means. Houston fired their whole defensive coaching staff, but it never led to any success after. Well, I didn't realize that's what they had done. From Thorny Switch, where is Rel? He's still rising up. From... who we got here? From Clay, I'll be damn Davis. The Falcons defense held Brady 3 damn points in 3 quarters. From Sly Loves Woman Wednesday, it was a bowling alley, Doug, not know your history. It was, I did say movie theater. And I apologize for that and talking about the Orangeburg Massacre. You're exactly right. And I think the reason I said movie theater because now that same space is a movie theater. And it has been a movie theater ever since I'd been in college. So, yeah, you're exactly right. It's actually a bowling alley, not a movie theater. I apologize for that. From Thorny Switch, I don't know about word on the street. Haven't heard anything about Quinn taking over the defense again. I think they just wanted to get rid of those guys, and this meltdown was the perfect excuse. Yeah, I haven't heard the whole thing about Dan Quinn taking over the defense. From Gilliard Road's Finest, Jay Clyde, ooh-wee, laugh out loud, gotcha now, greatness, laugh out loud. From Rel the Intern Scott, JB, I'm trying to put the bottle down, folk. What? You drinking early this morning, Rel Scott? Come on, bro. They don't like that down there at Temple. Come on, bro. You just got that damn job. Watch yourself now. From One Chance, y'all here is why they fire. Okay, here you go. Y'all, here's why they fired Brian Cox. I just figured it out. Y'all remember during the combine, he asked Eli Apple, the corner, if he was gay during the interview process. That story came out, and people were up in arms calling for B. Cox's head. Quinn had pressure on him to fire him. Maybe that's it. Just seems kind of odd. That story is true from what I remember, but that's died off. I mean, that was a long time ago. I hadn't heard any commentary about that at all the entire season. And if that's the case, and if that's the reason they get rid of Brian Cox from what happened at the combine last year, I don't agree with that. And I think Brian Cox has come out and apologized. I think he has. So, wow. I don't know. We just speculating. We doing a lot of speculating. From Vince Wright, X-Squad Rel. Did you cook a nice spread for the Super Bowl? Yeah, I saw Rel Scott on the on Facebook.com. He did a little Facebook Live video, and he was getting set. Rel Scott's the biggest Falcons fan in the city of brotherly love, which is actually the city of brotherly hate, Philadelphia. From That Ninja in the chat room on Spreaker.com. Let me take a look at That Ninja's profile pic here. Yeah, you brought that back from last week, sir. Bravo to you. Yes, sir. I got to be honest with you. It's hard doing the show on Woman Wednesday sometimes because it's very distracting. But That Ninja said that's not true. They would have fired him at the beginning of the season. In an interview, asked Des Bryant, was his mother a prostitute? So I don't see what the problem is. Whatever happened to the guy that asked Des Bryant about his mama and made mention of his mama being a prostitute? I don't even know the end story to that. Yeah, it doesn't seem, and I hear what you're saying, and everybody's speculating once again. It doesn't seem like Brian Cox, with the great job, supposedly, or from the outside looking in, the great job that he did with the defensive line, that they would let him keep his job the entire year and then fire him after the Super Bowl for what he did at the Combine last year. I'm just not buying that one. From Deacon Dell, Al, that's the best thing to come out of Ohio in a while, sir. From Rail, the intern, Scott Gregory, I lost 3 friends this weekend, Eagle fans. From X-Squad, kicking with Kesey, it looks to me like Freeney going to be the new defensive line coach. Watch for the hook. We'll see. From Big L, Doug, remember last week's Avies? Thumbs up. What happened to last week Avies? I can't remember exactly what happened with last week's avatars. Profile pics in the chat room. From Big L X-Squad, that damn ninja working his magic. From Grego Ball and Damrell, I don't know. I know they're on your ass in Philly. Whatever to the Philadelphia Eagles fans. If you're new to the show, man, I got a long sordid history with the Philadelphia Eagle fans. F them. F the Philadelphia Eagle fans. Long story short, I'm not going to get into the whole story. Maybe I'll tell it another day. But me and my brother went to a Philadelphia Eagles game when the Falcons went up there, and we literally had to fight for our lives. Right. We literally had to fight for our lives. From Clay I'll be damn Davis. I'm going to say it one more time. This young, inexperienced Falcons defense had held Brady to 3 points in 3 quarters. Yet the defensive coordinator and defensive line coach is to blame. Doesn't make sense. Period, point blank. It doesn't make sense. It almost seems like, and I dare say, man, that they're making these cats out the scapegoats. And one of the lines that I read a couple of minutes ago is they talked about the fact that this is fallout from them collapsing in the second half. It was a quarter and a half, and I would blame everybody. I think that defensively, they didn't call a good game. Richard Smith didn't call a good game. I think they got way too conservative, defensively in what they did. I don't think that there's a lot of things they did wrong defensively, but there was a lot of things they did wrong for the majority of that game. how it happened where that offense made 50 plays in a row in a quarter and a half, I don't know. I don't even want to get back into that. I'm trying to move on from all of that. Right, I'm trying to move on from all of that. All I know is for the last 8 games of the season, the playoffs, 2 games in the playoffs, and in the Super Bowl for 2.5 quarters, that defense balled. And once again, in relative terms, they weren't the 85 Bears or nothing like that, or the 77 Steelers steel curtain or something like that. They weren't. But in relative terms to the personnel they had, the young guys they had, they balled out of control the second half of the year. I don't get it. From Ducking and Dodging says the fans and media alike, or they like it when coaches are fired. It makes them believe that they're doing something good to improve the team. Yeah, but I mean, come on, man. But that's the subtle fan. That's the, any sophisticated fan, I guess the best term I can come up with, any sophisticated sports fan, that watches football and knows football, knows that that's all fluff. Look at the nuts and bolts of this team and what they did and what they accomplished this year. I hate to believe that they made these firings just for appearance to the general public. I would hate if that's the case. I'm not buying that one either. Y'all throwing out a couple of these little, scenarios and these explanations on why they're making all these moves so fast. And I hear you, and you want to believe in the organization. For God's sake, they went to the Super Bowl. I get it. You want to believe in them. But I'm not buying a couple of these excuses on why they're getting rid of these cats. Why they're getting rid of Richard Smith and why they're getting rid of Brian Cox. I'm not buying it. Yeah. So, I don't know. When we get back from the break, man, all right, we will kind of move away from this talk. Oh, I didn't mention the Julio story. We'll quickly mention that when we get back. And then I want to talk about Phil Jackson chumping his star player. Yeah. Chumping that cat. He chumping him. This is funny. This is funny to me. We'll read more of your chat messages. We'll continue to do what we do. D. Orlando Ledbetter coming up in the 12 o'clock hour. The Power Hour. It's Woman Wednesday. Change your profile pics. Music by beautiful ladies coming back from the break. Shut up! Man, beautiful Woman Wednesday. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes.
Hey, yo, Mills, let's get him again. Kings Nation. Spot Raiders. Mills. It's Spot Raiders, y'all. Yeah, listen, boy, skills, y'all. Nah, I ain't skills, nah. I don't rep the beat. I ain't the cat that came out and made you want MC. I ain't the cat that did it alone, had no help. Carried the whole state on his back by himself. When P was the verb lord and Tim had a small frame. Before Missy came and got you wet in the rain. Was them raw metaphors that was picking your brain. It was a cat from Richmond sickening with a flow insane. Nah, I ain't him, he ain't me. They say we look alike, but they don't mean I want your CD. So it's best to back up, relax for acting tough. Get your facts up before your ass end up in the rapper. And you don't want to see that dude. He was screaming VA when screaming VA wasn't cool. Now let me stop, that's me. But you'll never open the state, Playboy, cause I still got the key.
I'm from the B to the SA, one of the few who get played. I stay in these streets, a cop, cook, and flip, yay. Dog, you a slizzy, like Kunta and Kizzy. Who am I? Next time. Did you miss me? but on the up and up, they can't get enough of us. The home of Missy, D'Angelo, and Bubba Chuck. And you don't know what we capable of. Be at your crib with a mask, duct tape, and some gloves. What? Down here, cash rules. Nothing but bad dudes from Richmond and bad news. Make fast moves, dog. Stay alert here. Catch them up top, come down and drop work here. Home of the Brizzy, we live to get paid until I'm old and grizzly. This is where I stiz.